What's up, guys? I'm Formula Drift Pro Spec driver Derek Madison, and I am here at our brand new shop that we just leased right across the river from St. Louis, right down the street from our hometown racetrack. We want to show you what we got going on inside. All right, so we got our office space here. Obviously, a lot of spare parts in here. Just trying to get moved in, get organized, figure some things out. We want to set up like a podcast area over here because me and a couple of the guys are going to get some podcast stuff going, try to film one once a week. So aside from the podcast and the business related stuff, we wanted to set up like a nice living area here because we obviously know we're going to be spending a lot of time here. So we wanted to have like a nice little chill place that we could just relax in, have some comfort. Got some nice couches, a TV, some old school game consoles, you know, so we want to get down. But yeah, you know, we really wanted to step up from last year, so we really wanted to get us a nice place that would really elevate that. Got a nice living area, a nice little office space, kitchen, a bathroom. I mean, we're really set up to really step the game up and like make some good things happen. So let's go check it out. All right, so stepping into the first shop, we got a couple of our crew guys' cars in here. Joe Simer's got his Miata. It's a turbo 1.8. He pulled the motor out to do a full rebuild on it, and just try to get that done for the off season. We got a real big New Year's party that's coming up here, so we want to button everything up. But over here we got my crew chief Austin's car. He lifted the head on it, so pulling the head off. Our in-house tech Tyler is going to go do an overhaul on this thing, get it all set back up, and get this thing back to 100% so Austin can get to ripping on it. So let's step into where the magic happens in the big shop. So this shop is where the magic happens. Another one of my boys, Michael's car in here. We got a full overhaul on the entire car. We're working on a bunch of fab stuff. He's been working absolutely tirelessly on this thing. He's got an SR. It's been going in and out of this car like crazy just to try to get the right fitment and make everything as good as possible. And then stepping over to the other side, we've got our full race program. We have our 2022 second place in the championship Pro Spec car. It has been a great car for us, and hopefully we'll be seeing it in Pro Spec again under a different pilot. Tyler has been working real hard on my S13 hatch street car. As you can see, it's not entirely done yet. We still got wheels coming in from Koenig, and we need some paint or wrap applied to this bad boy to make it look absolutely gorgeous. And then our new 2023 competition car in preparation to move to Pro has not been touched yet. So that's going to be a big thing that we're going to be working on in the off season. So we're going to document a bunch of that and really try to get that figured out so you guys can see the full process of what it is to build a competition winning Formula Drift car. Behind me we got all our fabrication stuff, everything from welder, metal brake, some tools that aren't even here yet like our drill press, our bandsaw, and some other stuff that we're in the process of buying and stuff like that. Just to really build a good car, you got to have the right tools, right? So moving on over to our parts shelf, we have everything from oils and lubricants, maintenance chemicals, appearance chemicals, everything organized perfectly with like items. And then it gets into a handful of spare parts that are from the old car, are going to be reused in the new cars and everything like that. Everything I try to keep as organized as possible because clean is good, right? I've got a pegboard set up with a bunch of stuff, little stuff that you would use, as well as like my workbench toolbox. And then the tire rack that came with the shop, which didn't think we would use, turned out to be one of the best tools here. We've got old scrub tires for practice. We've got front tires. We've got spares from the hatch. New wheels from Koenig that they sent us that we'll show you soon. Let's check out some of the cars. First thing we'll talk about is our 2023 car that we're in the process of building. We're going to get started on right after the new year. It is in absolute raw form. We took this thing over to Rise Fab Shop in Knoxville. They threw a killer cage in this thing. It looks absolutely sick. All the welds are great. The fab work is awesome. So now it's up to us. We got to cut a bunch of stuff out of this thing, do a whole lot of chassis prep, cover this thing in a full coat of steel and just get to building. The plan for this thing is another forged LS3 supercharged setup, GSR dog box. If it's in the budget, we'll go with a quick change too, but you know, we'll see where that takes us. And get a rear mount rad in this car because as you'll see in a second, the current car does not have a rear rad. We struggle with overheating issues, so we're gonna try to really set this thing up for victory. You know, we did a whole lot with a little bit of the car we had this year, so the goal is to make this thing a championship winning car, and we're gonna do just that. So not much to see here. Let's move on over to the street car hatch. The street car hatch is a very simple, budget-friendly build. I got this car off of a friend. Actually, This car was owned by some friends of mine 10 years ago, and it's sat forever. It's very rusty. We've had to do a lot of repair on stuff like that. But the car overall is pretty good. I mean, it's not very often where you see a decently straight car with a full interior and everything works on it. And we put about 100 hours worth of TLC into it. We power washed the entire interior, but it came out awesome. I got S14 seats off of Michael, and this thing's really come to life, and just really got it dialed in. We just got a basic cheap kit, some KVD fenders, 50 millimeter rear over fenders, and we got some wheels on the way from Koenig. They should be here tomorrow, actually, and we'll get those things put on this thing and really get it dialed in. But as far as engine goes, it's just a KA, nothing fancy, nothing crazy to see under the hood, but it's just a good ripper for me to drive around every day and get a little bit better fuel economy than my F350. So on to the hotness. Let's check out the FD car. So this is the old tried and true girl. She's used and abused, wrecked, fixed a bunch of times. This is the old faithful LS3, fully forged, eagle rotating assembly, CP pistons, the basics, comp cams. It's just a LSA supercharger that is overspun a lot. It made 636 on a Mustang dyno to the tire, and it is an absolute ripper. We have maximum reliability out of this thing. Between M-Spec Performance and IG Motorsports, dialing this thing in, getting it tuned up, we hadn't had a lick of engine issues all year. You know, the fuel system kept keeping it fed like it's perfect. I have absolutely no complaints with the engine package. We just want to give it a refresh over the winter, pull the motor out and get it rebuilt, new rings, new bearings and stuff, send the trans over to RTS to get looked at, and this thing will be ready to rip without having to change a thing. Come right out of second place, and we're hoping it's going to do that again next year. So, but this car's pretty basic. As you see, still front mount radiator, Spall fans, but even they can't keep up with how much heat this car puts out. Still basic V1 Wisefab. Nothing too crazy. I mean, Wisefab's on V3 now, and we're still on V1. But we made it work. We got a good spares package for it, and we haven't broken it, so why change? In the car, we've got the best seats on the market. They're beautiful, they're comfortable, and they work really well. Status seats, they've got a nice diamond stitch, custom logo in it. Matches the car with the black suede and the gold stitching, and we love those. Koenig wheels keeping us looking pretty. We've got just PBM drop knuckles back here with ISR suspension arms, nothing insane. Back here in the trunk, it's pretty straightforward. I built this firewall right before last year, so we had a little bit more space. We put our Roads Racing icebox back here, which it was in the back seat. And then under here, we've got what allows us to run our factory gas tank, which is pretty sick. Fuel Lab makes a fuel surge tank, which is external, and it is just like a 2.5 liter can that has its own fuel pump in it. So we have a lift pump in our factory tank that shoots fuel into there, and then that acts as like its own fuel tank externally, and that way we never have issues with fuel slosh, and we don't have to spend all the money on like a massive fuel cell with like a surge tank and stuff like that. And you still have the ability to have all of those benefits while not having to spend the $3,000 to make that happen. But yeah, I mean, this is a pretty basic car, but I mean, as you see, we still managed to pull second place out of it in the season, so it's definitely not too bad. Definitely not too bad, but we want to build on that and really bring something to the table that really levels up. So, I mean, that's why we got this place. You know, last year, like I said, we did a lot with a little, so we wanted to bring a lot to the table this year to really be able to dial in our team, really be able to dial in the car, myself, everything, just to where we really maximize all opportunity for myself, for my partners, for my team, everybody that supports me. So yeah, on the wall behind me, I just keep the essential stuff on a pegboard rather than just be hardware, little stuff that you don't really think about very often, but when you really need it, you never have. So I try to keep a bunch of that stuff there. God forbid you ever need them. We got helicoils on deck so we can do thread repair if anything were to ever happen. Actually, my grandpa's old plaque, little nerd stuff, that was his car club back when he was 16, and they had those in his car, and he gifted that to me for Christmas, so I thought it'd be really cool to have that up in the shop. Just kind of like a personal, sentimental thing, so it's kind of rad. Onto the shelf of randomness that turns into spare parts and turns into all kinds of chemicals and other stuff. We got a spare ACT clutch sitting here for us. They always take good care of us. We love them. Just a bunch of boxes of tools, random old parts that came off. You never know when you might need it again because I use stuff out of these containers all the time. We got a fresh set of S15, fresh used S15 taillights that are going to go in the new car whenever we get that figured out. Just extra parts that we've gotten over the years that brand new brake pads and stuff that have come with kits that we've gotten. New lights for the hatch that we're going to put in and make it see a little bit better. Bunch of Autolite spark plugs. They always keep us set up and ready to rip. Otherwise, it's just spare parts and pieces that we've collected over the years that we'll probably end up getting to use. Like I said, we have everything perfectly organized together. Oil, lubricants, brake fluid, diff fluid, maintenance chemicals, training fluid for the GSR. All of our paint and body stuff is together. All of our cleaners are together. More car cleaners. But, you know, we just try to keep it as straight as possible around here so where we always know where it's at, and then we're always ready to get the job done. Past the shelves here, we've got a bunch of spare aero up on the top. Bathroom number 2 in the shop. We have a shop bathroom. Yeah, we've got a shop bathroom too. 2 of them, running water. We've got a deep sink here so we can clean stuff up as well as ourselves. But yeah, I mean, that pretty much rounds it out. Pretty much basic stuff. And you know, we're not just all work, no play. We got a crazy cart here that we rip around. We'll pull the cars out and get on it. We got scooters in here. We've always got something going on. All the guys come here and hang out on the weekends or at night. We all just kind of hang out with the boys, build cars, and do some fun stuff. So really, we got a great thing going here. We've only been here for a month. We love where things are going, and we definitely can't wait to see where things go from here. So I'm excited. Another really big thing about this place that is so underrated. Brand new shop heater. This shop sits at 65 degrees all the time, so the hoodie's really not even needed, and they usually come off when we're working, but that is such a huge thing. We've got heat in the office so my girlfriend can stay in there and chill out and be comfortable and have a good place to be. And we can go in there when we want to relax for a little bit and be warm. Out here, we're warm, working, everything's good. I mean, this place is really freaking awesome. As you can tell, we love Nissans. My friend Bill used to work at Nissan for several years. Got me this old Nissan Trust the Original. Absolutely, no LSs are ever in cars here. It's always the original. But kind of a rad sign we just thought we'd throw up just to whatever, because we obviously love Nissans in here. There's only 4 of them in one shop, but we could probably fit more in here. We've obviously got some extra wheels and tires thrown into this rack that we've collected over the years from other cars. But what we run here is we run Koenig countergrams on our Pro car this year. We're looking into one of their newer wheels this year. Always wrapped in some fresh GT Radial Champiro SX2 RSs. These things are grip monsters. This car is so fast on these things. You're able to run them at a super low pressure so you can get everything you want out of these tires. And for those couple laps that you can make them last for, they rip. Another one of the huge things that allows us to dial so much grip into this car and make it so fast and so settled is our Silvers North America 2-way adjustable coilovers. We got a long stroke in the back, so it really allows us to put power to the ground. They're super adjustable. They got a digressive shock, everything you can ever ask for to make as much power and put as much power to the ground and make as much grip as possible. I've been on them since my first year in Pro Spec, and I've learned how to use them more and more every single year, and every year this car just turns into more and more of a rocket ship because these things are just so rad. So thanks for coming around with us on this shop tour, guys. I'm very much looking forward to what comes out of this shop and really building this program to be bigger and better, building some good race cars out of here and really showing you guys what it's all about. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.